In one video, I am going to try to review Augur, Gnosis, I'm not even sure how to pronounce it, but I will review it. Golem, Civic, Qtum, Syscoin, Tezos, Tzero, Ethlend, Pundix, Nem, and that is all. Hopefully I can do that in 20 minutes. Let's go. So I run things kind of through my filters. Has it launched? Is it decentralized? Most things do not make it through all my filters. I'm not trying to invest in everything. I want things that I feel are safe and can be winners. Some people don't think any of the, I had someone telling me, nothing passes your filters. Actually, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Stellar, and storj, actually. I don't own a ton of storj, but it does pass my filters. It is possible. But none of these pass my filters. This doesn't mean they won't be successful someday. Doesn't even mean I won't like it someday. Just means we're not there yet for me. This is not all coins that are going to zero. I'm just saying these are ones I'm not investing in yet. So Augur does not pass my initial test. Hasn't launched yet. Does this mean, in this article here, does this mean Augur is deploying beginning of May? No, it means we are doing this and that. The tone of this makes me feel a little bit like Augur might be getting tired of people asking them, are they launching yet? I understand. I actually talked to Jeremy Gardner, one of the founders of Augur, last summer-ish. It was around September. And he told me, oh, now it's being pushed back and it's not launching until January. That was for last year. Some things probably are launched, but the question is, when are people able to start placing bets, and do we see bet volume? By the way, this is a prediction market. So when are we going to see a lot of people placing bets on and making predictions? That's what I want to see. We see that activity, and then it's early in a new platform, and that would be great. Now, Gnosis, again, sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, also trying to be a prediction market. Also hasn't launched yet. Now, this is a great development team, Consensus, with the SYS, Consensus, is a great organization. They probably have super developers. Here's their roadmap. I mean, this is very technical, all wonderful, probably great things. And someday when it launches, it might be wonderful. But I want to see, when I look at a roadmap, I'm looking for when can people start placing bets. And then I'll see. And, it needs volume, because the more bets there are, this is yet another thing that I feel probably tends to a monopoly, because the more volume, the better it is, and eventually everyone coalesces on one. Will it be Gnosis or Augur? I don't know. Maybe there's others. Once I see volume picking up in one, I would take notice. That might be somewhere to invest, but I'm not betting now. People like to be early, but if you bet on everything that hasn't launched yet, you're going to run out of money quickly. Golem. Now, Golem is trying to rent out CPU power on computers. So just like storj allows anyone to use their hard drive to let people store data on their hard drive and be paid for it. Now you can let people use your CPU on your computer and be paid for it. They just launched something on the mainnet. I'm not, or like a main, something has launched. I'm not sure what it is. So for Golem, I'm not investing, but I don't even know that it's not investable. I just know that I don't have enough information. This may be awesome, and I just don't know it yet because I'm not sure what launched. I mean, I did some research here, and this is where maybe if somebody's watching and you have more info, let us know, or me know, through the comments or message me. So what I would look for is how many people are signing up to use this CPU resource, and how many how many people are donating, or how much CPU power is available for people to rent out. Is that actually happening at that level of activity? Just like I like to see on storj, which again is a storage platform. How many, their thing is that petabits or terabits, I can't remember, they're up to 50, I can't remember the terminology, terabits per month, or being stored. So how many cycles of CPU, whatever the statistic is, and then what is the growth rate? If that looks good, I would like it, just like I like a storj. Storj has been up for 3 years though, so this is very new. It's probably a little early for me, but I would watch it as this is an interesting idea. It seems to make sense. This is the type of thing that was never possible until we had cryptocurrency. So I like Golem in theory, but again, it might be a little early. We might not be where we've launched. This video, I'll put the link in. I remember this video was decent, a fair amount of information. I don't remember much of it, but if you're interested, you might want to check it out. Civic is for identity. So another somewhat obvious use case of the new blockchain technology is it's creating a new place for identification. Instead of having a government issued card or a local government issued card, you have this. You could have a worldwide platform for uploading your proof documents, and it's totally secure that no one can steal your data, but you can choose who to share it with. And like, there's a lot of great opportunities, it seems, with revolutionizing the identity business, and a lot of people are working on it, including Civic. IBM, I know, is working on it, something with some open source for know your customer database or something, and there's a lot going on. I don't know who the winner is. So again, what I look for, or what I am looking for, is so which platform has the most people set up IDs? So Civic is up and running. I couldn't really find any numbers on on the numbers that I'm looking for. So again, what I'm looking for, how many people have signed up and actually created an ID, and then how much are they using it? You know, where they're using it to log in, and data on that. One thing I've noticed when I go to research a company, I do two things always first. One is look for the roadmap to answer my has it launched, and if so, where are we? I look for the roadmap. Sometimes it's in the white map. Sometimes it's in the white paper. Another thing I like doing lately is going to the blog. You know, blogs are where the company announces all the wonderful things that they're doing. And so that's a good place to find numbers and find out what's good. If you don't see anything good in their blog, there's probably nothing good going on, right? Because you would think they would brag about it. So they're not bragging about I'm not seeing any numbers here, you know, 1 millionth ID created or something, right? You would think you would see that. Because I'm not seeing them brag about numbers, makes me think they don't have big numbers yet. Again, doesn't mean this is a failed project. Maybe they're in the lead with no one else has more. I want to know who has the most. I don't see anything here. Here they're showing a showcase of implementations, you know, sort of this proof of concept thing. But again, how many users? So I don't know. It's too early. Maybe it's good. Maybe someone out there knows more about the identity. Which identity platform is getting the most activity now, right? I'm not as interested in the story in Sunday. Qtum is another Ethereum killer wannabe, I think. Actually, I shouldn't say that I know they want to kill Ethereum, but it's another platform. And so for me, as far as a Turing complete platform, it's Ethereum's game to lose. They're way in the lead from everyone. So can these guys catch them? I don't. So first of all, I don't think it's launched. No. It has recently launched, I believe. Or I remember here's the thing. It's hard to get, like, what are they doing? I don't know. I watched this video. I found it to be very, it said nothing.
Revolutions come from combining what exists into what has never existed before. Blockchain technology offers developers tools to build apps and solutions to the problems facing enterprise around the globe.
Facing enterprise around the globe. They certainly put a lot of money into voiceover. This was very generic like that. We're going to change the world. You can put blockchain on your phone, you know. So I don't know. There might be something good. I found this video to not sort of give me any, and it's very, just seems directed at people who don't know anything. So I don't know, but I couldn't figure out. I'm not sure what their angle is. And then I again look for the blog. They don't have a blog. They had a forum. Have a forum, and you know all okay. 8 months, 7 months. It's funny that it's in opposite chronological order. I mean, Quantum quick. Okay, a year ago. I don't like the way that's sorted. So here, 8 months ago. That's what I saw in other. I went to general before. I saw like the activity was only from a year ago. So if something exciting is happening to Qtum, it certainly was not obvious to me by looking at their website. And also, I gotta say, in this market, this is their price for a year. This was their ICO. Let's say around, 2, 3. That's funny. Look at it, around 23 cents here. That's what we're at today. So in this past year, which has been quite a bull run, the price is flat, which in this market is incredibly bad, right? So I don't know, but at price, I don't like to judge things by price. We know that, but I'm not seeing anything to be excited about with Qtum. Again, if someone has more info, and I don't care about what they're going to launch someday. Is there anything actually happening today that is cool? Cisco appears to be another coin. I don't even remember now what it was. So here's the thing. I usually just want to invest in platforms. As far as just being a coin, something that strives to be money, which means it's also a store of value. I believe there will be one king for many reasons. That's probably a whole nother video. A lot of things I think sort of a monopoly or, one big winner, someone taking 80% market share or a coin taking 80% market share, I think makes sense. Like I said, that's probably a whole nother video. I'm looking for the big winner. Cisco, are they going to do it? Here, look at how small they are. And I understand this is all the last 24 hours, which is not indicative. In fact, I looked a few days ago and they were number 114. But the bottom line is this going to be the king? It's not even, is it going to survive? Things survive, but I don't want to invest in the survivor. I want to invest in the king, right? It's like Trump. I don't want to invest in people that are captured. I'm not trying to support him. I'm just saying that's a silly comment. I better not get political. Okay, so Cisco has this tiny market share, and this is true for almost all these coins, and Cisco probably has one, at least, technology feature that's so great. No, if Bitcoin only had that. But would it really work at Bitcoin scale? Like, there's always these questions. With all of these coins, for me, the only question is, can it pass Bitcoin? So with their their volume for the day is 6 million, and I understand that's not the only metric, but Bitcoin had 7 billion. Okay, so I don't think Syscoin. Now you can argue some of these bigger, and keep in mind here, Bitcoin has 31% market share, but that's of all coins. A lot of coins are not trying to be money. Ethereum is you may think it's a good store of value. I like it. I'm an investor. But they're trying to be a platform. It's a different thing. They're not trying to be the store of value money. I don't think. They're trying to do that. And if they are, I wouldn't bet on them for that. I love Ethereum, but not to be. I think Bitcoin's doing something different. I guess, EOS also not. So that 31% is not the whole market. And Bitcoin Cash. Now, Bitcoin Cash, why has that rallied lately? I have no idea. I don't want to get into it. I guess Bitcoin Cash, though, is the one coin. It's the second biggest. But I don't like it because of all the coins. It's funny, all the other coins that are trying to compete with Bitcoin, they're like, we have better technology. We have better technology. Maybe they do, but they're I feel like they're too small to ever be able to catch up. Bitcoin Cash is close, but I feel like it has worse technology. I understand its supporters think it's better. I don't. I'm off topic. Let's keep moving. Tezos. They came out with a new platform to solve the problem of governance, and what happens? They immediately have a problem with governance. Supposedly now it's fixed. I like Tim Draper, who runs it. Seems like a smart guy, successful. He's sort of was leading this thing, or is, I don't know. But I remember when I first saw it, I'm like, they're trying to almost automate governance, and I don't see how that works, and certainly it hasn't so far. And I'm not, we'll see what kind of platform they're making, how it really, if it differentiates from Ethereum or what they're trying to do. But they're far behind as far as launching. They've been fighting for 6 months. To me, this is a race. You're going to be moving forward, and right out of the gate, they stumbled and fell. So to me, if you're going to bet on a winner, the team that runs out of the gate and immediately falls down probably doesn't win. They might get up and finish strong, but Right now, I wait and see some wins from Tezos before I would put any money there. Tzero is trying to be a regulated exchange for trading tokens that are actually securities. I see the idea. I understand the business plan. This is run by the from, I can't remember his name, from Overstock is starting this. I appreciate the idea. You know, it's like, oh, we're totally regulated and we're securities, and then they can get the Wall Street money, you know, the regulated money, the fiat currency can come in legally and all this. And I get it. My concern is when you're trying to build a business, as he says here, I'm sitting with 40 regulators in Washington, D.C. I mean, here's the thing. If I was an entrepreneur, and this is what this guy's able to do it, God bless, he can sit in a room with 40 regulators. I would rather poke my eyes out than sit in a room with one regulator. Answering questions, you know, as an entrepreneur, it's just so annoying. But, you know, I'm sure that they just don't fully understand. And they're trying, you know, what box, Mr. Levine, you have a business, which box can we put you in? You know, I don't go in a box, damn it. So I just think it's very difficult to build a successful business trying to deal with 40 regulators. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. And the regulators love to be like, oh, yeah, I know you're launching tomorrow, but here's the thing. We just changed something. You're going to have to change that now. You know, it's so and as it even says here, to now finally start furthering security tokens. Like, we've been so bogged down with regulators. And they'll keep dragging you along. They don't say no. They say, oh, make a few changes and fill out 40 more forms. And then maybe we'll see, you know. So I am concerned, like I've said, with any heavily regulated. Speaking of, the other thing too, with these, so this is an exchange, and there are exchange tokens. So the other question is, let's say the exchange is great, or like Binance. Now Binance is an example of an exchange going the other direction. They say, screw regulations. Guess what? We're going to focus on the customer. Well, that's a novel idea. So they focus on the customer, and it's a great exchange. Tons of coins, easy to use, very nice. So I like Binance. Seems to be very successful. It's one of the biggest exchanges. But is the Binance token worth something? You know, just because the exchange is successful, you're not getting a. You don't own the exchange. You have this like token which gets you a discount on trades, and like, how much can that be worth? You know, the token, if you use it, right? You can't, if you want to, well, I don't know exactly what, this is leading to, I don't know that much about the Bitcoin, sorry, the Binance token and how it works. Except for that, the point is the exchange going to be successful? Well, I'm talking about Tzero, but even if it is, does the token itself make sense as an investment vehicle? Maybe you want to, you know, own the company, but not the token. So that brings me to Ethlend, in that we have a similar issue with that. So Ethlend, and there are several lending platforms, which is if you own a bunch of Bitcoin or a bunch of Ethereum, that you could say, hey, can I take a loan and my collateral is the Ethereum or my collateral is the Bitcoin, and then they lend you some other cryptocurrencies or fiat, whatever. That sounds like a good business thing that will grow. I would imagine, right? If the asset class of crypto assets is growing, and that's a lot of collateral growing to which you could generate loans. So that could be an interesting business. I would keep my eye on it. Hey, maybe someday, you know, a couple more 10Xs and I could use my collateral to, you know, to have FU money. Now, maybe I want to buy a house and I could use some of the Bitcoin as collateral and borrow against it. Who knows? So I like to watch this. So anyway, so Ethlend, according to these numbers here, they're approaching 13,000 ETH in volume, which is, I think it's like 8 million maybe out in loans. I did the math a little bit ago, whatever it is. You know, so that's decent, and it probably hasn't been out that long. It looks like there's a fair amount of, that's not a huge number though, you know, compared to existing banks. But again, something's happening, and what's sometimes even more important than where it's at, what's the growth rate? And to see that month after month. I don't have that detail here, or maybe if you're able to decipher all this detail is there. I'm not sure. But another interesting point they showed here, 6% were defaulted. Now, I don't know much about lending. I don't know if that's a high or low rate. So is it? And then the other thing is if it's new, Well, maybe it's 6%. It's only been out for 6 months, and defaults come in over years. I don't know how long the average loans are. There's a lot to figure out whether this is a successful company or not, and then you got to figure out, is the token, right? So then you decide, okay, Ethlend is awesome, doing awesome. Well, is the token worth it? And I don't have all those answers. And I would think, I mean, the one thing that concerns me with the lending business is the idea is sort of this remote lending and online. How do you successfully judge character and not get scammed as the lender to lend to people who just go off and buy Lambos? I'm sure there are ways, and then you have to monitor whether if you're going to invest in this lending company, are they trustworthy? I don't know. So I wouldn't buy the Ethlend token. I think it was LND. LEND. What is this? Pundix. So Pundix is making these checkout, almost like a credit card accepting thing for point of sale in retail outlets. I think it's a great objective. I assume they're trying to do this in countries where there's just not much banking developed. There's a lot of retail outlets that don't have Visa or MasterCard, right? I mean, if you already have Visa or MasterCard, I don't know, this might not be the most valuable. There's probably some places that don't, and they're maybe trying to get into that market. That's what I would imagine. But that's a small market, compared to if Visa decided to allow crypto. That's a much bigger, those numbers would dwarf. As it says here, their goal is to deliver 100,000 devices in the next 3 years. So to me, that's like sort of a nice little business. It's not that big. And then the token itself, what are you getting for the token? I have no idea. This is again interesting. I enjoy reading about it here and there. I want to stay in touch with what's happening. Do they have a blog? I don't see one. I don't know what I'm looking at here. Is this an article? Oh, this is the blog. So I don't know. Interesting, but I wouldn't invest. It looks sort of small and niche, and who knows. And again, the token. Then you'd have to research the token. And keep in mind, these are my filters. Most of these aren't making it past the first couple things. Metrics maybe should be higher. I seem to get to that sooner. If it starts passing things, then I look at who are the founders. I'm really not digging deep on any of the founders here because it's not really making that far. I don't like it, so I don't care who the founders are, sort of. Or it kind of goes, it's like, oh, well, what if you don't know? There's this amazing rock star founder. That's true, but they probably would have mentioned it. Like, if the founder is like some amazing rock star, they probably mention it somewhere that I looked briefly, just like what I said about good numbers. If a company has good numbers, they usually put them out somewhere and you'll notice them. If you have to dig really hard for those things, might not be there. Okay, Nem so they have a new blockchain instead of proof of work, instead of proof of stake, proof of importance. And there's a whole thing on it. And it's for me, any of these consensus algorithms, it's very exciting. This whole new how networks come to consensus, the consensus algorithm. And some math geniuses are able to study these and determine, which ones are the best. But for most people, including me, we determine which one is the best by seeing which one has worked for a long time. Most investors and most people on Wall Street are going to say, is proof of work good? Well, it's been working for 10 years, so that makes it good. You're not going to try to decipher the math. They're going to look at the track record. And so if proof of importance is awesome and amazing, it will become so. And 5 years from now, we'll be talking about it, and then maybe it's time for big investors to come into it. But at this point, I would think a new consensus algorithm like this is a little scary to invest in for me and probably most people. So you can watch it. The other thing is, I don't think they've come out. They just had a theft, which I don't know that it can happen to anyone. Ethereum's have theft, so that's not that big of a deal. But they did just have turnover in their president. This guy, I guess, was the president of some Nem organization. And also, to remind you, this is sort of shallow research that I've done. I haven't dug deeply in any of these. I'm sorry if if that bothers you. But as a result, I may make mistakes. I may say, oh, he was the president, but he wasn't the president. Or I can't remember the name of the organization he was the president of. but he's gone now. I don't know exactly why he's gone, but I did stumble upon this, and I was just like, he just writes here, and should I waste my time answering instead of working on stuff? I'm just, what kind of tone is that for, the leader of this currency, cryptocurrency? I didn't love that. And this for slackers, I don't know. He may be a wonderful guy. I guess Nem, just again, I wasn't able to find anything that sounds like it's amazing and there's amazing things launching on it or have already launched. Another one of these building, it's a dream, and maybe things work out, but it's definitely too early for me to get into it. Is that everything? 25 minutes. Not bad. All right. Yeah, let me know your thoughts, your feedback. I apologize for mistakes. I'm sure they're there, but I did want to try to. And let me know what you think of this type of video, blowing through 10 coins or however many it was in 25 minutes. Or do you prefer one 20-minute video where we dig deep on one? So let me know. Thank you for listening. See you soon.